So S&S Worldwide have recently released a brand new roller coaster concept called a RailRyder, which is basically a family-centered roller coaster. The main target is like a family coaster, but it's a single rail coaster with trains with really low center of gravity, and is really literally a single rail coaster designed for families. And it's going to be like a brand new roller coaster type that's going to be really accessible for parks on a budget or family theme parks, and it's obviously going to be a great new addition to S&S Worldwide's lineup of attractions. So what could this mean for theme parks over here in the UK? Obviously, there's a question that gets asked quite a lot on this channel. What could this mean for theme parks in the UK? And specifically in today's video, what could this mean for a certain attraction at Blackpool Pleasure Beach known as Steeplechase? Now, if you don't know what this ride is, basically Steeplechase is a aerodynamics steeplechase roller coaster. That's literally the ride type. That originally opened in 1977. It was one of two steeplechase coasters ever built, and a steeplechase coaster is basically like a single rail coaster, but the trains are literally only seat one person each. They're shaped like horses, and the only thing holding is like a seatbelt type strap. I don't even know what it is, but basically there's very little holding you in. And there were only ever two built, and the other one being built at Knott's Berry Farm. This is the only one left in operation in the world at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. And obviously it's been operating since 1977, and the unique thing about it that separates it from many other coasters at the park is that it has 3 tracks racing against each other. Now obviously the only other coaster compared to that in the whole of the park is Grand National, which is a wooden coaster. It's been operating since the 1930s that has 2 tracks, but this one obviously Steeplechase has 3 tracks, which is a pretty unique part of it. But obviously, as we know, it's been operating for many years now, for about 45 years, over 45 years, 46 years. It's not the most popular attraction at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. There are many more popular attractions at the park, things like the Big One, Icon, even some of the wooden coasters like Big Dipper and Grand National. There are more popular rides to the park. So obviously, what could Steeplechase's days be numbered? And if so, what could potentially replace it? That's why I'm thinking, could Steeplechase within the next few years be replaced by an S&S RailRyder, which is pretty much essentially, I think that's one of the things that S&S said, they want it to be like a modern version of a modern take on the Steeplechase coaster, or very similar anyway. Obviously, with it being a single rail concept, and they have 2 train options, I believe. One train option is where you're just strapped in with just a seat belt, and the other option is where it has a lap bar. Obviously, this sounds very similar to like the train design on Steeplechase, except the trains aren't shaped like horses and they can hold multiple people, so it already has better capacity. And obviously, like I said, the actual attractions themselves, there's currently 3 options for layouts for the S&S RailRyder, and it's obviously supposed to be a family coaster for people 39 inches and above. And obviously it is meant to be like sort of like a modern take on a family take on a single rail coaster. Because obviously the concepts has been reintroduced over the past few years, like RMC's Raptor coaster and Intamin's Hot Racer coaster, but S&S are now making it sort of accessible for families as well as just opposed to thrill seekers, which is a really good idea. But obviously all 3 current layout options for the S&S RailRyder can fit in a pretty small diameter. I think the largest one can fit in a space of 130 feet by 330 feet, and the smallest one can fit in a space of 100 feet and 210 feet. So it's a pretty small space. Now, I don't actually know how much space Steeplechase takes up, but I'd assume it's probably larger than that, maybe slightly. Obviously, I tested this by putting the option 1 layout, which is the biggest one in Planet Coaster in Blackpool Pleasure Beach recreation, if Steeplechase went there. Now, obviously, this isn't to scale at all. It probably is not to scale at all, but it gives you a good idea of the fact that like if Steeplechase was gone, they could easily fit something like this in that space. But obviously there are only currently 3 options for a layout of this attraction. But then obviously who's to say that S&S won't introduce like a custom layout options for this sort of attraction? They'll start building custom layouts. I mean, it's going to happen eventually, hopefully. If they start building the just the three sort of basic layouts that they've introduced so far, and it becomes successful, how do we know that they won't introduce like custom layouts for the RailRyder coaster? But obviously, like I said, that combined with the fact that Steeplechase, it might be like on its last legs, because obviously it's not the most popular attraction, and it's been going open for quite a while. Obviously I know that there are attractions at Blackpool Pleasure Beach that have been open for much longer than this, but things like rides like Grand National, Big Dipper, Nickelodeon Streak, Blue Flyer, a lot of them sort of attractions are grade 2 listed, so they can't really be removed. They're protected by Heritage England. I'm not so sure about the grade status of Steeplechase, but I'm not sure if that's grade 2 listed or anything, so that probably can be removed. And if it does, would you like to see an S&S RailRyder, a modern version of Steeplechase, replace the original ride? Or would you prefer for Blackpool Pleasure Beach to keep this ride operating as much as possible? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And I want to thank you all very much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, then please make sure to like and subscribe, and comment what you would like to see in the next video. Bye!